The way the world view efficiency is completely wrong. Organizations, companies, countries, and individuals view efficiency in the wrong way. And I know that you think and you feel sometimes that you are being efficient, you are being productive, but I'm telling you, you are in fact decreasing your efficiency, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. Let's say I were to ask you a simple question. Do you want a fruit, an apple, or a green apple? Doesn't make any fucking sense when you think about it, right? Because if fruit is a pretty general and an apple is more narrow, it's more specific, and a green apple is even more specific, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking fruit. Like, an apple is a fruit. I cannot ask you, do you want a fruit, an apple, or a green apple? That's the same thing we do with knowledge. When it comes to knowledge, there's different level of knowledge. We acquire and develop knowledge on a fruit level sometimes, or on a apple level, or even on a green level apple, which is very specific. Therefore, the main problem most of the time within organizations and businesses is that we acquire too much knowledge stuck in a specific level, on a green apple level, or too much knowledge stuck on a peer level. And therefore, our main focus is to extract that knowledge and apply the right knowledge on the right level of knowledge. So it's not just to extract any information. You got to extract the right information to apply it on the right level of knowledge. That's what's going to make you efficient. Because at the end of the day, that's what growth is, right? Growth is only acquiring knowledge and applying it as fast as possible and doing it over and over again. That's how you experiment fast growth. The faster you apply that knowledge that you just learned, the faster you're going to see the result. Same condition, new information, new behavior. You repeat that, you will experiment growth. And it's the same thing with knowledge. But we need to apply the right knowledge at the right level. Let's take example of a camera, right? That's a pretty specific knowledge. That's a pretty specific tool. A camera, pretty much like a red apple. Why the fuck would you need a camera in your business? That's the question you might be asking yourself, right? Because you're not making the link. It's very specific and it seems completely out of subject. Well, you would need a camera to make content for your business. I mean, fair enough, that makes sense. You need a camera to film content, but why do you need to film content in the first place? Well, you need to film content to build a personal brand. And now notice how personal brand, which is the second information we come up with by asking ourselves why, a personal brand is more broad than a camera. It's an apple level information, which is more general, more broad than a red apple. Now, why do you need a personal brand in the first place? Well, when you look at the market, at the online space, you would notice how saturated the market has become. Everybody's selling the same shit. Therefore, nowadays, people in our market that we reach out to wants to buy only from people that they trust. And therefore, you need a personal brand to build trust with your clients. Okay, that makes more sense. People want to buy from people that they trust. And personal brand is here to help you build trust with your client and educate these people. Because now, people need to buy into you before they buy from you. That's why you need a personal brand. And by asking yourself this question and coming up with this thought process, you would realize that you need a personal brand to build trust, because your core priority in your business is to put the client relationship first. Now you see how by extracting the information on each level and asking yourself the right question, why, and working our way up, we were able to come down into the fundamental of the business, which is one of your priority number one when you were building your business, putting the client relationship first. And this all comes down to lean thinking. It's all about value versus waste. Which of our efforts are value creating and which are wasteful? In other terms, learning to see waste and eliminate it has allowed big companies such as Toyota to dominate their entire industry. It's not about adding features and all these little gimmick things and fixing little things that you are making your product or service even better. Trust me, this is a waste of time. Lean thinking defines value as providing any benefits to the customer. Anything else is a fucking waste. Don't waste your energy on strategic assumptions that haven't even been approved yet. Instead, ask yourself, would it have been possible to get the same feedback that I just got without wasting any time, resource, or energy? Knowing that your assumptions were false without building anything. You don't want to learn that the assumption you just made wasn't true after having wasted your time and energy building something. You want to learn it before you waste time. In other terms, get feedback as fast as fucking possible, because you need to validate your assumption. You need it to be validated, because at the end of the day, building a business is literally assembling a whole bunch of assumptions together. You're looking at a market, you were able to find a problem, you were able to identify a problem, and you were like, okay, great, I'm gonna do this and this and this to solve that problem, build this mechanism to solve that problem, and that's gonna be my business, and I'm gonna market it this way, use this angle, and do this, and this, and after X amount of time, I should be up to 10K a month. Everything I just said were just a whole bunch of assumptions. If I build my businesses based off of assumptions that are not true or validated, I would have wasted my whole time, energy, and money building this thing if these assumptions are not validated or not approved first. Because after having assumed a whole bunch of stuff, you're gonna come up with a thesis and hypothesis with a leap of faith hoping that everything works out well. That's what everybody's doing. But how do you validate these assumptions then? You need to test. Put it out in the market as fast as possible to get feedback as fast as possible. Don't try to give clients what you want or you think they need. Test what you have for them and then measure the behavior after. Value, no waste. As someone who helps people succeed in their niche through your services, your job isn't to try to figure out what your client wants. How can you avoid this waste then? Validated learning, what I just went over literally. It's easy to cut yourself in the flywheel of guessing what your clients want, and it's also easy to learn things that are completely irrelevant, which is why validated learning is backed up by actual data collected by real clients. Feedback from the market itself. Where do you find this data then? Anybody who fails a business or a startup can easily justify themselves by saying how much they have learned from that experience, but you won't even have any data to back up the fact that you learned from your failure. And this is why anybody who started their first business always fail. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with failure. Building a business is hard. But after that first failure, I'm telling you, it's going to be so easy for you to just sit down and create a story and talk to me about everything you've learned from that entire journey and how, yes, I failed my business, but I've learned so much from it and it made me a better person. But the truth is, whatever theory you come up with, this theory is only going to be true and validated once you build a successful business leveraging that theory you just learned from your failed business. The truth will only come up once you put in practice these theories that you supposedly learn from your failure and then build a better business that shows better results with better clients. The only way to prove what you've learned from your failed business is going to be by building a second business successfully, and the success of that second business is going to be the proof that you've learned from your failure from your last business. We all wish for overnight success. Building and launching something and hoping everybody will like it isn't a good plan. You can try all the marketing gimmicks, but it would only delude yourself into thinking. And hear me out, funny enough, everything that you see about these gimmicks, tactic, and marketing strategy works. I'm not gonna shit on them. I'm not gonna bullshit on people that are making money from you. They're pushing it and they're making money from it because it works. Those gimmick marketing strategies, you can go for that route. Go for it, man. But the truth is, it's only short term. Eventually, the fundamentals of your business, which are weak if you base your fundamental on make money quick gimmicks, these fundamentals will eventually win and the delusion will be over. And you won't be able to win on the long term. Business is a marathon. The goal of the game is not to win. The goal of the game is to stay in business. It's not about the next shiny tactic or trend. It's about lean growth. The question, therefore, isn't can this offer be built? No. In the modern economy, especially in the online creator industry, any service and product can be built. The question is, therefore, should it be built and can it be built? To answer that question, you need a method of systematically breaking down a business plan into component parts and test each part. You're breaking down a business plan into component and you test each of these components and validate them, and only then you iterate and grow. Don't try to predict the future. Fuck all that bullshit. This is what I call the MVP thinking. Think big, start small. See you on the next video.